Hey kiddies, it's Triple Feature Tuesday, and this week we're going to look at some horrible horror movie fathers.
Oh, my papa.
That's right, it was Father's Day this past weekend, so it is time to honor our fathers. I went up to Jersey and honored mine, and now it's time to look at some of my favorite horror movie fathers. And, the irrevocable harm and scars that they've inflicted upon their children. So, our menu is going to include Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, The Stepfather, and The Shining. Now, we're going to go in increasing order of damage done to the children by the father directly. So, we start with Friday the 13th, Part 5, which you might remember is the Friday the 13th without Jason. It has a guy pretending to be Jason. That guy is Roy. Roy is a seemingly mild-mannered EMT slash coroner or meat wagon guy. Unfortunately, when his son, Joey, aka the most annoying human being this side of Shelley from Friday the 13th Part 3, 3D fame, gets murdered, he goes on a kill-crazy rampage. Now the thing is, Roy never actually did anything overly terrible to Joey, outside of abandoning him. But, can you blame him? Have you seen Joey? He's horrible. Joey is so annoying, he got killed by not the killer of a horror movie. That's sort of impressive. But Roy did abandon him as a small child, probably causing a lot of the insecurities that led to the ridiculousness that was Joey's character. And then, as a result, went out and murdered all sorts of people that, had no actual connection to Joey getting killed. So Roy is pretty much an asshole, just all over the place. There actually is a lot of themes of family in Friday the 13th Part 5 when you look at it, because you get Tommy, who's estranged from his family. But if you recall from Part 4, his family consisted of his mother, who I want to say died? I forget if they actually show her body. I know she gets killed off screen if she gets killed, but anyway, his mother and his sister. But we never found out what happened to his father, whether it was divorce, died, whatever. And so now he's even more estranged from what little family he has. He's in a halfway home as opposed to with his sister. The halfway home run by Matt, who has good intentions and trying to be a father figure to everybody, but, coming up short. I think it's the boots. But you also have Reggie the Reckless, who has his grandfather, but not, his nuclear family, and it seems like his older brother is sort of estranged from the pack too. And then there's Ethel and her idiot kid. So a lot of family issues going on in Friday the 13th Part 5, outside of Roy taking unjustified revenge for his son Joey, the son that he'd never even wanted. Next, we've got The Stepfather, the original Stepfather, starring the wonderful Terry O'Quinn of Lost fame. I'd never seen this before, so this was a lot of fun to watch for the first time. Terry O'Quinn, who plays the titular stepfather, you never really know what his real name is. He's got a lot of assumed names whenever he takes over, or that he ingratiates himself to new families with, and, seemingly is a great father and family man until, things don't go exactly according to what he pictures a family should be. And, we've all been there. Family members disappoint us, let us down. And I realized a long time ago, as I'm sure you have, that the only way to deal with your family disappointing you is to murder them with knives. He is just terrible. Terrible, terrible human being. Just a lying bastard that goes around murdering these families after, living with them for like a year or so. He just packs up, changes identities, and moves on. And it's sort of fascinating. It is not the bloodiest horror movie. It is not particularly gory or that scary, but it's sort of Hitchcockian in terms of you see the aftermath of Jerry's. That's predominantly Terry, the stepfather's name in the movie is Jerry. So you see Jerry's first family, or most recent family, slaughtered as he's leaving. So you know what is going to happen to this new family. So it's basically you're watching the stepdaughter who hates him and his new wife living with a time bomb for about an hour and a half. And that actually gets to be kind of fascinating. There are slow parts, and we could have, filled in some like some empty spaces with something. But overall, decent violence. Terry O'Quinn, man, when he wants to use them crazy eyes. You thought you saw crazy eyes in Lost. You have not seen Terry O'Quinn crazy eyes. Jesus. And also features not necessarily dethroning my favorite Jim hero from Friday the 13th Part 4, but a good runner-up for the Jim hero. The Jim hero is the guy that throughout the whole movie is a man on a mission to avenge somebody or stop the killer or do something, and then he fails miserably by the end of the movie. And this guy was really great, like with his jeans tucked into his into his boots, which I think is a thing all the Jim heroes need, and just completely no patience for anyone because he's on a mission. Don't you understand? But Jerry is, outside of the murder, he's just basically up his stepdaughter Stephanie's ass throughout the whole movie and driving her insane, predominantly by being nice to her. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, her father died, so she's just gonna, as a matter of rote, reject anybody that takes his place. But it actually reminded me, I feel like this one episode of Buffy took a lot of cues from this. The episode when Buffy's in college and she hates her roommate, where it's one of those, yeah, there are perfectly reasonable explanations, and I'm overreacting in terms of hating this person. But then it turns out they are a killer, so haha. But then there was also one other weird thing in the movie where you get to see a shower scene with Stephanie, the stepdaughter. Stephanie is played by a 24-year-old actress, but is supposed to be 16 in the movie. So we're watching a shower scene with a 16-year-old girl, and the shower scene happens 10 minutes prior to the end of the movie. Like, everything, we're basically at the climax and we're going, let's get the show on the road. But hey, here is, just short of full frontal nudity. I'm not complaining, it was just weird in terms of horror movie plotting. Didn't understand it. But, again, not complaining, and definitely not complaining about Terry O'Quinn playing Jerry the stepfather. And finally, we have possibly the greatest jerk dad in horror movie history, Jack Torrance, played by a thinly veiled Jack Nicholson from Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of Stephen King's The Shining. Oh, Jack Torrance. Jack, before he even gets exposed to the ghosts and the cabin fever and whatever your interpretation of The Shining is, he's just a drunk asshole who is manhandling his 5-year-old kid because he's drunk and dislocates the 5 or 4, forget how old Danny was at the time, shoulder because he's a drunk asshole. Cannot understate that. So that's bad enough. It sort of, maybe not creates psychic abilities in Danny, but definitely hastens their development in terms of survival for the poor boy. And then they get to the Overlook Hotel, which, great, thanks, Dad. Let's do 5 months in a scary hotel, trapped in snow, with just you and Shelley Duvall, my crazy olive oil mom. So, Danny is psychic and is going nuts from all the ghosts in the house. Jack is also going nuts from all the ghosts in the house, but the ghosts just want him to murder everybody, and God, he does his level best, which involves axes, bats, chasing people around, and just being overall a monster. I mean, you want to talk about psychological scarring? Try getting over your dad chasing you in the middle of the night, in a snowstorm, in a hedge maze, with an axe. And he looks like this. He's just terrible. So, mercifully, my dad's never done anything even remotely like this, and that's part of what makes him a really great dad, as opposed to these horrible horror movie dads. Roy from Friday the 13th Part 5, Jerry from The Stepfather, and Jack Torrance from The Shining. I hope everybody has been treating their parents well, and I will see you guys next week.